putting in its first green monthly candle since March of 2021, Bitcoin is currently on the verge of a make or break recovery that will send shockwaves across the crypto space and urine down the legs of the bears. But just how big of a move lower to retest new support will be needed before a blast-off? And there is growing evidence that Bitcoin is about to spend 5 months in a massive end-of-year breakout turn mommy makeout. I'm your host, Melvin Milkalot, and like a new mom, I am absolutely swollen with juice in anticipation of Bitcoin's next move. And Bitcoin looks poised to end out the year 2021 absolutely beautifully, and we're going to be taking a look at a lot of different things that absolutely confirm that as well, and much more. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, turn it because you see absolutely time-sensitive alerts, and without any further ado, let's dump on in. Wow, so it's absolutely no surprise that Bitcoin is just being scooped up like none other, as a supply squeeze is surely in the cards here. So if we take a look here, this is something, again, we talked about back in like September and October of 2020. This potential for a very strong rally and then a few months of some downside, some sideways trading before absolutely gushing the final months of the bull run. And I think this became clear to a lot of people that were watching the market the final few months of 2020 that Bitcoin was going up really fast and there hadn't really been a substantial pullback since it started lifting off. It just started going a little bit crazy. So the idea that we would kind of blow up to some insane price, take a little bit of a pit stop for a few months where a lot of people would get very bearish, only to then initiate a mega bull mode that would initiate some sort of blow off top that would then end in a prolonged bear cycle. I think a lot of people just think that it makes a lot of sense, especially compared to all the exuberance we've seen. The only thing I'm a little unsure of right now is just because of all of the adoption, how a blow-off might actually work towards the end of this cycle. Because it would not make sense to just copy and paste the 2013 blow-off top, because again, the space is infinitely different and infinitely more successful than it was 8 years ago. So history doesn't repeat here according to charts BTC, but it often rhymes. A repeat of a Q4 blow-off top, new all-time highs into 2022 seems more likely. A super cycle will depend on what happens in 2023. So after the last few months of news and price action, because remember, what caused this 3-month trend so far, the reason that happened is strictly very news-based. There was a lot of FUD that came out, a lot of things that were timed almost perfectly, dare I say manipulation, yes, absolutely, to bring Bitcoin down, potentially so that some of these giant institutions could get in around 30 and a little below 30,000. But in the past, following 3 months of some dumpiness back in 2013, Bitcoin went on to print 5 green monthly candles and went up 10x in that second half of 2013. And again, that's what a lot of people have been equating as a distinct possibility for this cycle as well. But this time, this is even more supercharged, right? There's a supply shock looming, absolutely. Hash rate is now back above 100 exahashes per second after bottoming around 83. While difficulty saw its first positive readjustment since the May crash on Saturday. And investor behavior further mimics the change in sentiment. Strongholders with little to no history of selling Bitcoin are now back in control at levels never seen before and absent since Bitcoin's current all-time high of right around 65K in April. It shows people holding have conviction in terms of an increasing amount of Bitcoin supply becoming illiquid, being taken off the market. And I think we have to ask ourselves the question, is the reason that Bitcoin has done so well the end of 2020 and most of 2021 has one of the fundamental reasons, whether it's, the Fed printing unlimited money and all of the controversy and chaos going around the world, that has led Bitcoin to be so successful and led so many institutions to become interested in Bitcoin. Have those issues gone away? No, they've gotten worse. So again, a huge fundamental driver, but behind this bull cycle still 100% is there, if not even, making Bitcoin even more necessary than even just a few months ago. And we are seeing the hash rate kind of stabilize a little bit. And ultimately, again, I think this is just a potential beautiful setup for the end of this year. Now, what is the other scenario, which bears really desperately want? That scenario is that, these next 5 months of 2021, Bitcoin does not set any new all-time highs. It does not go back above $60,000 again. And in fact, kind of tapers down to price structure that we've literally never seen before and potentially go back to that $10,000 region. Again, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But we are seeing Bitcoin here on the monthly. Very nice first green monthly candle since back in March of 2021. And yeah, we get a weekly close in just a few moments here. But yeah, for the most part, Bitcoin has been holding so many key levels. In fact, bouncing off that 50-week. Now, if we go to the daily chart, you can see, I mean, 10 straight green daily candles for Bitcoin. Ethereum, I think, is on its 12th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ethereum on its 12th green daily candle at this very moment. Will we get a 12th daily close? Not sure just yet. However, this spells very nice bullishness for the altcoin market and just for the entire health of the market in general. I think exceedingly, obviously Bitcoin has been the market indicator for the entire crypto market, but exceedingly Ethereum has been taking more and more of a role in that as well. Ethereum has had huge impacts on the market, and I think again going forward in the next coming years, I think that's only going to be more and more the case. I think altcoins are going to take more and more of a role in the space. Clearly, that has been the trend for the last 3 to 4 years, and I see no reason why all of a sudden that trend is just going to stop and reverse. But Bitcoin's been holding above very, very key levels. We did actually just get a bullish cross here with the 50 going back, or the 21 going back above the 50-day moving average for Bitcoin. And again, we're just starting to see more and more bullish scenarios pop up here for Bitcoin. We have, late last night, we broke above 42 again, 42,000. But ultimately, guys, I personally think, and I've been saying this since before we even had that 10th green daily candle, that we need to be very cautious of just a retest, which would be more than healthy. Where, you know, let's say we do actually come down to the $30,000 range again. Let's say we even go to the mid $30,000 range. You know, all the bears are going to be screaming, see, I told you it was a bull trap. We're going back to 10,000. But no, it would just be a natural part of obviously a massive reversal after 3 months of dumpiness. Bitcoin is not just going to go straight 45% up like it has and then another 40% up. It probably needs some sort of backtest for the support first. So the reason I bring this up is just because that is a scenario where I know a lot of people are going to be panicking for some reason, where you should not be panicking if that happens. That's absolute normal market behavior, especially in a recovery. You want to see a backtest or retest of support. And you know, bears are going to get extremely overconfident if Bitcoin does go to that mid $30,000 range, or essentially if Bitcoin drops, every $1,000 Bitcoin drops, bears are just going to think that all of a sudden, yeah, that definitely was a bull trap. And they'll be saying the same thing all the way up to 6 digits, just like they were saying when Bitcoin was $4,000 back in 2020, that it was going to 3, 4, 500 US dollars, okay? You have to be very cautious because bears have been proven historically to be much more incorrect than bulls have ever been. Case in point, we can take a look at the BLX chart from Bitcoin going all the way back to 2010. You take a look at this chart, I think it's very clear what the winning side is, and it's not the bears. But with that being said, a lot of key levels have been broken and are now just being retested over and over again. I just personally would, you know, caution that August is very likely to be a very bullish month, where I think we could see easily above 50K. However, guys, I think it's very necessary, this is just my opinion, but I think it's very necessary that we should see a drawdown probably before that happens, okay? Just a retest of some of these levels. You know, could it maybe even only go right underneath 40? Absolutely. Could it go all the way down to the mid 30,000s? Absolutely. None of that would be unhealthy in this scenario. And the technicals are now lining up with the fundamentals, which are just absolutely extremely bullish. But do not get me wrong. If we actually explode these last few months and going to potentially the beginning of 2022 with insane bullishness, you know, way past 6 digits, say that does happen, guys. Obviously, at that point, I think it becomes very necessary that you have to realize that the market will top out at some point, and we probably will, more than likely, will enter a 2-year, at least, bear cycle where we could go on a, you know, obviously a pretty dumpy multi-year downtrend. Now, I don't think we're anywhere close to that just yet. I think we're probably right around halfway, but just keep in mind, this market will not go up forever. So again, I still think right now is the time to be bullish. But there will be a point where that will no longer be the case, short term. Long term, absolutely. Well, speaking of your channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe. Traders gives me these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. If you're interested in earning APY, TA trading, any kind of bonuses, make sure to check out the description below. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.